The movie begins with a video sonogram of twins, one of whom suddenly destroys with the other. We move to the bathroom and are introduced to Maria, a very modest girl who dresses and examines herself before school. At breakfast, the heroine gets dirty and her father Dan silently makes it clear in the form of an order that this is unacceptable. Maria leaves her rather elite home and heads for school. It turns out that the girl's modesty is a reason for ridicule from some classmates. While the others are having fun, Maria puts on headphones to escape from reality. The heroine communicates only with Lily, and together with her goes to the training of the hockey team. There, Maria watches with sadness and envy as her friend cuddles with her boyfriend named Sean. At dinner, Amy tries to talk to her daughter about the prom. However, Maria is pissed off by this, and she runs upstairs. Dan criticizes the girl, saying that she doesn't eat anything, doesn't socialize with anyone, and generally doesn't live up to his ideals. A weeping Maria overhears these attacks sitting on the stairs, after which she leaves to go to her room. While plucking her eyebrows, the girl notices a strange corner of paper behind the mirror. Using tweezers, she pulls out an ultrasound picture of twins. To relax, Maria decides to take a bath to relieve her tension. However, she suddenly notices that the reflection in the mirror moves by itself. The girl decides to wipe off the condensation and sees that her reflection is smiling. The next morning, Maria wants to talk to her father, but he declares that the daughter looks terrible. Dan argues that the girl should look great and not embarrass the family at school, then sends her to do her makeup. While Maria is putting on her makeup, her reflection moves imperceptibly for her. Near the school bus, the girl notices Mark, who bullies her. Maria is saved from an unpleasant conversation and ridicule by Lily, who arrives by car. The girls pick up Sean, after which they head to school. Maria follows the couple closely, and then she doesn't notice Mark's foot and falls down. Sean helps her up, and almost pounces on her abuser. Maria looks at the guy with gratitude and even tenderness, because she likes him very much. In the evening, Maria takes a bath, when suddenly before her eyes there are pictures of childbirth in which Dan is present. Before going to bed, the girl cannot find a place for herself and, despite the fear, decides to go to the bathroom and look at the reflection. Maria in the mirror says that she was always here and follows the heroine. The reflection claims that it can save the girl from trouble. The real Mary says that the creature in the mirror is herself, but the reflection disagrees and says that her name is Aram. At breakfast, the parents notice that their daughter is noticeably more beautiful. Mary tells them the happy news that she will go to the winter ball. If Amy is genuinely happy about this, Dan thinks that this is a manifestation of an adequate person, and there is nothing to be proud of. At school, Maria comes across Lily and her boyfriend. The friend tells Sean that she is teaching the heroine to skate for the winter ball. Maria is excited to go to practice, but suddenly remembers that today she has a bonding meeting with her father. Dan is a plastic surgeon, and his daughter is waiting for him at the clinic. A beautiful patient comes to the man, and Maria guesses that there is a connection between them. Dan and his daughter watch an explicit movie, which makes the heroine feel uncomfortable. After the movie, Maria runs into Mark on the street, who acts caustic in Dan's presence. On the way home, her father says that he wants to give her a birthday present in advance and asks Maria to stop by the clinic. Aram says that Dan doesn't care about his daughter and is ashamed of her. Maria disagrees, and thinks that Dan decided to buy her a car so she wouldn't have to ride the bus with Mark. The next day, Maria comes to her father's clinic and waits for her gift, wanting to prove Aram wrong. However, Dan sits his daughter down in front of the mirror and tells her that he wants to make her beautiful, and for this he needs several plastic surgeries. Maria can barely hold back her tears, and when her father leaves, an angry Aram appears in the mirror. In the evening, the girl communicates with her reflection in the bathroom. Aram claims that no one cares about the heroine, and her mother cannot protect her. Maria agrees that Amy just puffs herself up with the hope that her husband cares about her. Aram jokes about it, and the girl starts laughing. At that moment Amy enters the bathroom. She is worried because she heard voices in the room and she is frightened by her laughing daughter. Before going to bed, the woman tries to tell Dan about it, but her husband only demands that she take pills and perceives what happened as a seizure. Amy says that her nightmares have returned to her and that it disturbs her a lot. The next day, Lily brings her friend to a frozen lake near the club to teach her how to skate. Maria asks the girl not to let her go, and falls on the ice. The heroine is waiting for Lily to help her get up, but she only skates around and suddenly declares that Sean belongs to her alone. Maria says that she does not understand what she is talking about and asks for help, but her friend leaves her. In the bathroom, Aram claims that the girl just wants to see Lily as a friend, and does not notice the obvious. The reflection reminds her of all the betrayals and hurt Maria has endured because of her friend. Aram says that she is a true friend because she shares her pain and speaks the truth to her face. Reflection asks to be allowed to help Maria, to save her from her resentments and disappointments by switching places. Tired of pain, neglect and suffering, the heroine agrees, and almost kisses Aram to make the transition. However, this is prevented by an unexpected knock on the door. It is Amy who informs her that she has a gift for her daughter, and asks her to come out of the bathroom. The woman gives Maria a lovely dress, and asks her to promise that she will have a wonderful time. The girl goes to the winter ball and is very nervous, as she does not know how to skate. However, suddenly Sean comes up to her, and kindly takes Maria by the hand. The guy offers to dance together, and the heroine gladly accepts his invitation. During the dance, Maria notices Lily's offended face in the crowd and, confused, falls on the ice. Sean tries to help her up, but the blonde stops him. Maria, lying on the ice, is given a hand by Mark. However, instead of picking the girl up, the bully drags her across the ice past her laughing classmates. Crying, Maria crawls to the exit and runs home. Once in the bathroom, the frustrated and humiliated girl calls out to Aram as the pain of humiliation becomes unbearable. The reflection that appears promises that it has the power to relieve the heroine of the pain. Maria does not hesitate to make the transition, and Aram becomes flesh. The girl behaves very confidently and rejoices in her freedom, realizing how many possibilities are open to her now. Meanwhile, Amy is tormented by a nightmare dream, reliving the birth. The woman even begins to hallucinate and feels extremely strange. In the morning, Aram has a friendly conversation with Amy, which pleasantly amazes her. The girl suddenly asks for more food and says that she hasn't been herself lately, but now everything will change for the better. After breakfast and talking to Amy, Aram goes to school and feels that a new battle has begun. The girl destroys Mark, who calls her the Ice Queen, after which she has a nice conversation with Sean. However, they are interrupted by a perplexed Lily. The girl says that she is sorry that Maria was hurt and regrets that she could not help. Aram realizes that she is being hypocritical, and unexpectedly asks Lily to continue teaching her how to skate. However, in the evening, Aram goes to the ice herself, and begins her training. The girl comes to dance clinic, and chatters affably with him. The victories of reflection are followed with some resentment by Maria, hidden in the mirrors. Asking her father's secretary to make cocoa for the road, Aram arranges it so that her father's mistress arrives at the clinic at 1 p.m., and when the employee returns with the drink, asks her to call Amy and tell her that Dan is waiting for her in his office at the same time. Standing outside the clinic, Aram watches her makeup-clad mother happily enter the building, expecting to have a pleasant time with her spouse. At dinner, Amy looks very depressed. When Aram brings the woman out into the open and forces her to confess that Dan is cheating on her, she loses her temper and lashes out at her daughter. However, almost immediately regaining her senses, Amy says she's sorry and Aram replies that she's not. In the bathroom, Maria asks her not to hurt her mom anymore. Aram continues his practices on the ice, watching what figures Lily can do. After one of the hockey team practices, Mark threatens that the girl will have a hard time today. However, Aram lures the naive guy into the shower, and uses a stick to injure his knee. Together with Lily, Aram goes to the ice, without saying anything about his solitary training. The blonde is pleasantly surprised by her friend's success, but she is frightened by the fierce face with which she tries to catch up with her. The girls make different figures on the ice, and having failed to cope with one of them, Aram continues the pursuit. Lily falls and loses her life when she hits the edge of the rink. Maria demands that Aram go back behind the glass, but she refuses, saying she is doing everything Maria herself once thought she would. During the wake, the girl runs away and is caught up with by Sean. The heroes embrace, and at night Aram escapes from the house and heads to her lover. She tells Sean about her feelings and they turn out to be mutual. At dinner with her father, Aram behaves very swaggeringly. Dan doesn't like it, and he tries to reason with his daughter and make her behave the way he wants her to behave. The man succeeds, and she is ashamed of herself and behaves as she should. In a literature class, Aram hands Sean a note and suggests he run away to her house. A surprised Amy asks why they aren't at school, and her daughter easily lies that they have to do a project together. The woman doesn't believe them, but Aram advises her not to interfere. The next day, the couple skips school again, but Sean gets an unexpected call from his mom, who informs him that the police are looking for him. The boy is ready to go to the police station, but Aram resists and says that she has nothing to tell the police. Sean pushes the girl away and is about to leave, but she hits him on the head with a bottle. Aram watches Maria's suffering behind the glass. Meanwhile, Amy has a dream about her past. After giving birth, one of the twins is disfigured and Dan decides to get rid of her, although her mother begs her not to and promises to love the child as she is. Meanwhile, an inebriated Aram, despite the tragedy, goes to her father. Dan gently takes the girl in his arms and carries her to his office. Suddenly Aram undresses completely and asks her father if he thinks she is beautiful. The man asks the girl to get dressed and says that he would love her even if she were disfigured. In response, however, Aram grabs a scalpel and destroys Dan. The crying girl asks why he couldn't love her then. Aram no longer sees Maria in the mirror and returns home. The crying girl hugs Amy, and the mirror shots make us realize that Maria and Aram have merged into one. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.